Good morning. Do you wake up stiff and sore? You want to do some yoga, but an intense practice is just a little bit too much for your body in the morning? Join me for today's practice, a nice slow stretch for stiff bodies. Beginning today's practice kneeling on your mat and being mindful of how your body feels, not pushing it too hard, just really gently starting with some easy cat and cow. And as you inhale, lower your belly, lift your tail, lift your head. And as you exhale, scoop your tail under around your back and drop your chin. And for the first couple of rounds, just decrease your range of motion a little bit. Don't make it as big and as deep as maybe you can, or maybe even as big as your body feels that it might want to go. Just really easing into it. As things start to loosen and limber up, maybe adding a little bit bigger of movement, but really let your body guide you here. As we just start to wake up this morning. Getting your breath going as we start to mobilize our spine. Getting our blood flowing. And just waking our body up nice and gently. Good, and allow yourself to ease back into resting child's pose now as you sink your bum back towards your heels. Let your arms reach forward. Just keep your arms gently bent as you bow your head down. And if you find it challenging for your head to reach the mat this morning, you can stack one or two fists together, rest your head there, or rest your head on a cushion or a yoga prop. Taking just a few more nice deep breaths in resting child's pose. Perfect, and go ahead now and slide all the way down onto your stomach. Just take your time getting there. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your elbows in by your sides, relax your toes down, and very gently lift as you inhale for a nice easy cobra. Not pushing too high up, and really aim to lift with your back muscles, not pushing hard with your hands. Release and flatten. Inhale, lifting back up for cobra. Maybe lifting a little bit higher, maybe not. As you exhale, bow your head down. And one more time, inhale, just nice, gentle, easy, comfortable back bend. Release and bring your head back down. Coming up, back onto all fours. And we're gonna move through a little bit of thoracic opening here. So you're gonna start by putting your right hand on your ear. And then as you inhale, rolling the elbow as you turn and look up towards the roof, and exhale, bring the elbow back down or close back to the beginning position. Inhale, opening, exhale, closing. Inhale, open, and exhale, close. And now switching sides as we work to just gently open through the shoulders, mobilize the T-spine or our mid-back. Inhale, rolling open, and exhale, close. Inhale, open, and exhale, close. And one more time, big inhale, roll up, and exhale, close. And just coming to gently kneeling, and feel free to come to seated or sit on a prop if you prefer here, as we just work to stretch out our neck a little bit here. Reaching your left arm up and over to one side. Just find a gentle side bend here. And release. And take the other arm up and over. And release. And just let your body really feel it here. Inhale, reach the arm up and over. And one more time with the opposite side, up and over. And then just finishing here, gently taking your left hand and put it on your head. And just very gently add a little bit of pressure as you drop your ear towards your shoulder. Reaching downward with the opposite hand to really find a nice stretch along your neck. And release, and then dropping the opposite ear towards the shoulder. Remembering to breathe deep throughout the practice. Releasing the head. Finding your way now into downward facing dog. And just taking a few breaths here, maybe pedaling your feet a couple of times to loosen up the legs. Let your hips shift a little bit, maybe move your shoulders, and just settle for a couple of breaths here as you take a nice big full body stretch really in downward facing dog. And take your knees gently back down to your mat as you come back into resting child's pose for a few more breaths. Allow your hips to feel heavy, really allowing your weight to sink down. Good, and finding your way up to seated. You might just cross your legs and roll back through, or come to seated any way you can. And we're gonna move into a gentle hip opener called 90-90 hip stretch. So you're gonna start with the right leg forward, bending it about straight with the front edge of your mat. And then you're gonna tuck the other leg so that it's about straight with the side edge of your mat. So like you're kind of creating two 90-degree angles with your hips, but be gentle with your body this morning. If that means that your back leg is tucked up a little bit higher, that it's not so much of a 90-degree bend, that's completely fine. If you're feeling a little bit more open this morning and you want to walk the back leg a little further back and find a little bit deeper of a stretch through your hips, you go on ahead and do that. Sitting up nice and tall, or if it feels nice for your hips and the rest of your body, start to add some forward fold here. And it is a little bit easier if you fold towards the bent knee. It gets a little more challenging as you fold towards the center or towards the foot. So pick the place that's right for you. Just easing our bodies into our morning routine. And you might always decide to take a more vigorous practice a little bit later in the day. This can just be your wake-up routine every day if you like. Good, and slowly sitting up. And as you sit up, just take a little twist and look over your right shoulder. Perfect, come back. And then you're just gonna switch your legs around here as you come the opposite way. And know that from left to right sides, you might need to adjust a little bit. So feel free to shrink the legs, bring them a little bit closer, or go ahead and spread them a little bit farther. Maybe folding down, maybe just sitting nice and tall the entire time. And this is really a variation of pigeon stretch or pigeon pose. It's just a little bit gentler of a variation. So it's a nice way to start to open our hips in the morning, or it's particularly good modification for anybody who regular pigeon just doesn't feel good for them. This could always be an option that you could go to instead of regular pigeon should you need it. Taking our last couple of breaths here. And if you were folded forward, come on up to the top, and then we're just going to take a little look around over our left shoulder. Just finding a gentle twist, and then come on back to the center. And now we're going to finish the practice lying on our back. So as you lie onto your back, take your feet about shoulder width apart, and just really gently with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, let your legs start to just gently sway side to side, like a windshield wiper. And let your body and your hips feel loose here and your back loosen up. And this can be a really small movement. It might be really big. Maybe your knees are reaching the floor. But don't try to make your knees go to any depth. Just let your body move the amount of movement that naturally feels good for it. So you kind of just need to turn your brain off a little bit here and let your body lead the way. And this can be a great exercise just for moving the chi or the energy in your body about, kind of clearing up any blockages. So something great that we can practice anytime during the day, but definitely starting ourselves off on the right foot this morning. Perfect. And then tucking your knees into your chest and just taking a nice gentle twist here, double knee twist, as you let your knees roll towards the right. And if your knees don't easily reach the floor, that's okay. You can tuck your arm underneath to give them a little bit of support, or if you have a pillow or a yoga prop close by, tuck them underneath. You do want your legs to feel relaxed and supported here. So you don't want them to be reaching for the floor. If there's a gap, tuck something underneath. If there's a gap between your thighs, try tucking your arm or a cushion underneath there so that everything is really relaxed. Twists can often be intense for your body, especially if you're twisting too far. So this should feel gentle for you. If it doesn't feel gentle, you need to prop up the knees and not twist quite so much. Good, let's come back to the center. Tuck your knees in. And then when you're ready, let your knees roll on over to the opposite side. And you want to aim to keep your shoulder blades down on the ground or almost all the way down on the ground. If your shoulder's lifting way up, your arm and your hand is off the floor, that's also a sign that you're twisting a little bit too deep. Taking a couple of nice big deep breaths here. Good, and let's roll back to the center. As you tuck your knees into your chest, maybe just rocking a little bit side to side, massaging your back if that feels good. Hold on to your right leg and stretch your left leg all the way out. Push through your heel. And then tuck the knee into the chest, switching sides now, holding your left leg, stretching your right leg all the way out. Push through the heel, pull your toes back towards your shin. And then tuck your knees back into your chest. Hug both knees in. And then release the legs, stretching both legs out. Stretch both arms out and reach as far as you can. Just finish with a nice big full body stretch. Perfect. And now making your way back up to seated. That concludes this morning's practice. I do hope that you enjoyed the slow stretch for stiff bodies. Feel free to leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up if you liked today's class, and please do check out some more videos on my channel and hit the subscribe bell so that you get a notification every time there's a new video. I do post new videos every Monday. Thanks so much for joining. Namaste.